This week we'll be discussing the series finale of Paradise on Hulu. If you want to hear our thoughts, definitely stay tuned. All right, episode 8, The Man Who Kept the Secrets, the season, because there's going to be a season 2 finale of Paradise. Let's get into it.
Okay, so my first standout thing was the blatant disregard for the workers' well-being. Like, are you kidding me? I know that this happens all the time.
Right.
Like, who cares about the little people that are doing the grunt work to make these great things happen? But seeing it play out, seeing I don't even know the guy's name, telling the person like, hey, this is really bad, you know, these people are gonna get sick and whatever, and like the person initially being like, okay, like we'll fix it, and then being like, meh, actually we're just gonna keep doing it, they got some masks, they'll be all right, and by the way, you're fired.
Right.
Like, get out of here. Yeah, I thought that was nuts. Yeah, very believable, believable, but not good.
Right.
Yeah, it was a little horrifying.
Yeah, so that was my number 2 item, so I'm going to push it to number 1 to tag on to yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, like people with power and like money, if they're left unchecked, they're going to just do whatever the heck they want to do.
Yes.
Like, and forget the people beneath them that are actually doing the work or that are actually like suffering. So it reminded me of like these pharmaceutical companies that put out drugs and they just like, all right, we'll just put a reserve for the legal ramifications after people like start dying.
Right.
And stuff like that.
Right,
like
exactly.
we're gonna make all our money and then we can just pay them off later and that'll be that.
And it'll be great.
Yeah. And then it also reminded me, not like, of course, not the same thing, but like with slavery and like them building cities and like building the White House and things like that, but they're not even welcome in or things like that.
Oh my god!
Like, of course, these people are paid. Apparently, it sounds like they were paid like a decent amount of money because they're talking about like, what are you going to do with the money? What are you going to do with the money? But they don't have all the information. Like, I'm sure these people would not take the money in exchange for their freaking lives.
Right.
So yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that guy when they told.
Do we know his name?
No, the guy who's like, build my city. I don't know. The guy the guy who's like the man who builds self-sustaining cities.
Yeah.
After they fire the guy and he can't get in with his badge, the guy, I don't even know anybody's name.
I know.
That is another thing that we're going to talk about, well, that I'm going to talk about because it's so dumb.
Annoying.
But anyway, so the guy, the project manager who gets fired, he says at the gate, like, we know that we're not building a recycling facility. And then the guy says, hey, you don't want to mess with these guys. They know something's coming. Like, he starts telling all this stuff. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You could just walk away.
Right.
Like, why are you giving this guy so much information just because he said, I know you're not building a recycling facility?
Yeah.
That was so stupid to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It didn't make any, well, and I'm saying it doesn't make any sense, so maybe that's something that doesn't work, but then that stuck out to me too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was curious.
Yeah.
That was curious. Like, he's on the outside of the gate. He's gonna say whatever he's gonna say anyway. So you just say like, you're fired. Goodbye. That's it, and leave. Yeah. Why are you giving him more information? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing is just like an overarching like revenge makes you do crazy shit. Like this person. The guy that we don't know his name, the librarian, fake librarian man, surely has stepped so far outside of what he would typically be doing. And I'm not saying it's not warranted, although I think like murder and stuff is not warranted, but like revenge, like having that in your heart makes you do crazy shit to the point where you're like, oh, I have to kill myself now. Because like, what are you doing? This episode for me was a lot of like, what the heck is going on?
Thank you.
Yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot of that.
Oh my gosh. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And that's something. So I'll just mention it here, and I'll talk about it more when we talk about what didn't work. But that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
It just didn't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I agree
Have
with
a laundry list of
Yeah.
what didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you. Oh my gosh. So yeah, totally agree. What stood out for me? So I'm already on number 3. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Xavier getting his revenge on Sinatra. That was fantastic. I loved Xavier in that scene. Sterling K. Brown did fantastic.
Yes.
Great acting.
Yes.
And stuff like pretending like, well, I'm sure he wasn't pretending that he was crying, but he like, those people were off their guard.
Yeah.
And he pulled that gun out, bam, bam. Like, what you say you did to my daughter? Like, what's going on? Yeah. That was a great scene.
Yes, I have that in what worked.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And she finally got her comeuppance, and Xavier is not to be trifled with.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
fantastic.
I love that. But what stood out to me is that it seemed like towards the end of this episode, they're trying to start building a redemption story for Sinatra. Like, she's like, I'm not a good person. Like, I have done horrible things, Gabriella. And I'm looking like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You guys better not be trying to build a redemption story for her, because I'm not buying it. Nope. No.
Yeah. And I didn't even think about them building a redemption story with it. But yeah,
better
it
not
kind
be
of
what
like
they're
makes
doing.
sense, because when Xavier came in, she's like, God forgive me, or something like that. She
Yes.
said, I'm like, oh, now you want to say it. Like,
Yeah.
lady, you was literally just on the phone telling her, like, thinking with Jane about whether she should get rid of the daughter.
Yes.
Like, what are you talking about
Psychopath.
now? God forgive me. And I didn't want it to go this far.
Yeah,
Girl, please.
You freaking kidding me?
Yeah. What didn't work?
What didn't work?
Oh
Let's
my
get
gosh.
into that, because I have a long list.
So my first one is they brought this villain into the story on the last episode and concluded on the last episode.
Yeah.
We never hear anything about this guy the entire season.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just like, who can we make that'll be like nobody will think of? Like trying to just make it so left field that it just didn't work.
Yeah.
It was so like we don't even know this guy's name.
Yeah,
this episode, I
literally.
have no idea what his name is.
Yeah.
The whole episode was about him and his
Right.
backstory, and I have no idea what his name is.
Yeah. What is his name? They said his name.
Yeah.
Like Trevor or something? Something with a T. Trevor. I could be wrong. But yes, I agree. And the hilarious thing is that, so Mac watches lots of YouTube videos.
Oh, okay.
And he was watching this video of this guy, and he was talking about how to build the perfect villain in a movie or in a show or whatever. And like there is a specific like recipe that they use, the creators, whoever, use to create the villain.
Yeah.
Like you have to make sure that you see them multiple times. They have to like come up multiple times. Generally, like people don't like when it's like, who is it? Oh, this person that's always, he's there because they happen to be in the library. That's the only place that we see him. That's his only thing. The entire 8 episodes.
Right.
And now all of a sudden he's like this wild mastermind person who is like plotting against the president.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. When they showed him, I said, now you got to be kidding me. Are you kidding? Like, I thought it was going to be, I really thought it was going to be Marsha. Like the lady who had her family, like she was kept asking, like, you saved Edward. Because when the plane went away, she was standing there looking like, and I'm like, maybe she, like, I'm like, that would be cool. She'd figure out a way to get in. And like, or her and her husband or something. But you've seen her a couple times in this season. This guy, I mean, she's actually had speaking roles. This guy had, it just.
He's been in the background the entire time. That is very silly. And it certainly did not work. The first time I watched this, I was like, I am not going to text Ashley.
Yeah, me too.
Because I am not going to ruin this for her. But I wanted to be like, did you watch this?
Yeah.
Because what the F? And eventually I did.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I have to watch it again because
Yeah.
I didn't take notes. I didn't take notes because I was so like,
yeah.
what's happening?
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like the background story that they gave us, okay, I could see him being upset, obviously.
Yeah.
He really cares for this Adam person or whatever. But like, I don't know. We just have to keep going because I have a lot of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, your turn.
So first thing that not stood out to me, sorry. First thing that did not work for me was Adam, this black African man, telling Trevor, whatever his name is, to put his dirty hands in his food. In his big, like, Tupperware container or whatever the F. I was like, I don't think so. Let me scoop some onto your plate, maybe, if I'm going to share it with you.
Yes.
You're not putting your dirt-filled hands in my food.
Thank you.
There's no way. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I was like beside myself. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this would never happen in real life.
Yeah, because me and so Jamar finally caught up. So we watched it together the first time. And I said, are you kidding, Jamar? Who would let him do his dirty, nasty hands in this bowl? He's like,
nobody black.
I know that people, he's like, well, that's how they eat it in Africa. I'm like, I don't care. You guys literally both just came from like digging out dirt and all this other stuff. Like, he hardly knows him because he just got permission to call him Adam, basically. Yeah. So like, what the freaking heck? That was so gross.
Yeah. And if you go to like an African restaurant, if you're eating like fufu, which is like what you would eat with your hands, they have a bowl of water on the table.
Really? Okay.
So that you can like clean your hands before you like do the dipping or whatever. I was like, there's no way. Who wrote this? It couldn't have been someone black and certainly not someone African. I don't think that this would ever happen. Ever. I never saw such a wild thing in my life, and I'm not African. I don't eat with my hands at all.
There's no way I would even do it. Yeah, like even if someone offered to me, I'll get a spoon. Yeah. Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what also didn't work for me is that, and that we alluded to this earlier, the man being so set on revenge to the point of like trying to assassinate the president on his lawn and then doing the things in paradise. Like killing the two people that were supposed to be there so he and some stranger could come in to paradise. It just didn't make any sense. Like, especially like, okay, not that our coworkers aren't important, but he's a coworker, bro. Like,
I was like, is he in love?
That's what I thought. Adam? That's what I said. Were they lovers in the nighttime?
Right.
Because I'm like, where is all this anger coming from? I get it.
It's baffling.
It's like inhumane what they've done.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're gonna throw your whole life away for the, I was
confused. I was like, maybe they were.
Yeah, but I feel like they would have like shown that.
Yeah, they didn't show it at all if that was the case. So I was very confused.
Yeah.
Anything else for that one?
No.
So along the lines of attempting to assassinate the president, my thing that didn't work was how the F did he get onto the presidential lawn, even as a boom carrier or whatever? He has to have clearance. Yeah. He has to have like you can't just be like, oh, I've got some equipment, let me walk in with everyone. Like, no. Surely he has a badge and they're scanning it and all of this stuff. Like, is he... I mean, we see that he takes the identity, kills people and takes their identity like later in the episode, but like, you are just a project manager, or I don't even know, a construction guy, overseer thing. Yeah. How are all of a sudden now you're a killer?
Yeah.
Now you are like, you know what? I need to kill the president. Yeah. Which is so silly. Because the president is not the person who is creating this stuff. Yeah. He's the president. Yeah. But he was standing there and saw her tell the blonde guy like, build me my city. He saw that interaction.
Oh, really? He did? Okay. That's
Yes.
the part.
So why are you targeting the president?
Yeah.
Why are you not targeting Sinatra? Had he targeted the right person, she wouldn't be able to do the things that she's been able to do because someone would have already taken care of her.
Yeah.
So that is freaking silly and does not make sense.
Yeah, that was kind of part of my thing too. Like, where did you get the target of the president from? Like,
yes, where did that come from?
Like, it just, this whole thing was just completely rushed. It was just so rushed. Like,
I'm glad that you feel that way too.
Yeah.
I'm like.
But then the last thing that I wrote, which there's plenty of things I could have written.
I have so many.
Yeah. I said Xavier going alone to find his wife at the end. I'm like, you don't know what's out there. Why aren't you going with anyone? And maybe it's he doesn't have anyone to take with him, but all those people that like worked with him to like do this overthrow thing, couldn't one of them go with him?
Yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
you have I don't know his entire background, but they've never said anything about him being wilderness trained or like some scientific analysis or something like that to assess the conditions or something. Maybe he's just going off the research from the people that already went. I don't know, but it was just strange that he went by himself. So
that is a good point. I said the librarian being the killer. We already talked about that, but like, what the F? That doesn't make sense. What is Jane's angle? I'm confused. All of this. So like, she shot Sinatra. And said like, you probably should have just given me the weed. There's no way that that's why she shot her. Is she having a change of heart?
I don't know.
She's like, she made Sinatra think that she killed Presley. And obviously she didn't. Because she was at home chilling when Xavier got there. When he got there. But like, what was the reason for doing that? Did she like see Sinatra for who she is now? Or is she like trying to foil Sinatra's plan because she didn't give her the weed? Like, I'm confused. I feel like that made no sense. I'm glad she didn't kill her.
Right.
But why make Sinatra think that you did kill her?
Right.
Maybe so that when Xavier confronted her, she would have to say like, oh yeah, I did it. And then he would like maybe kill Sinatra for her.
I got from that was that I think she's mental. I really do.
She's got some issues.
Because it seems like, what'd you say?
She's got some issues.
Yeah, she sure does. So that's because when she said, I really enjoyed the we, can I have the we? And Sinatra said, are you insane? It kind of like, it seemed like something shifted on her face. Like, okay, we need to leave. We need to end this conversation right now.
Because I'm about to come over there and fuck you.
Yeah, like, so I think that when she called, when Sinatra called her insane, then she's like, okay, that's it. Yeah. Like, all right, well then, forget this. I'm not on your team anymore. And you're going to get, I'm going to come after you. So that's what I got from it when they had that interchange. I'm like, ooh, Sinatra, I don't think you should have called that girl insane. Because it is a weird request. Like, we going through all this, you asking about a week?
I know. You're like, hi, can I have that weed? Like, what?
Yeah.
Do you know what's happening right now?
Right. Yeah, and I think that was like, okay, all right, so you gonna call me insane? Okay, well, I'll show you insane.
Baby, let me put on a show for you.
So that's what I got from it. But I still don't know her angle. Point. Like, now that she's done this, now she's gonna keep flying under the radar because it looks like she saved Presley.
Right.
And so then now what is her plan? I don't know.
How did the librarian know what Xavier was looking for, where he would be in the library, that he was looking for something? Yeah. Does that mean, well, and I know it doesn't, but my question was like, does that mean that he knew that Cal was like hiding things? And if that's the case, why didn't he just remove those things so that, whatever, so that Xavier couldn't find it? He does say at the end, like, I'm so glad that you, like, came here and whatever,
Yeah.
you like knocked me out of my like stupor or whatever about this place and made me remember what my path was supposed to be or something.
Yeah.
And like I knew I needed to tell the outside world, and now I can, like, because I have this book that tells me how to get out, or something. But I was like, none of this is making sense.
Yeah, that just didn't make any sense.
No sense at all.
No.
Originally, after the first time I watched it, I put this down as like made no sense, didn't work for me. But I'm striking it. I'm taking it back. But I said all of a sudden Xavier and Robinson are being best friends, and he's leaving his kids with her. That seems weird. I get now, like after watching it the second time, she's like, you have to go out there. It's not just about your wife. There are other people who have survived. We need to like know who these people are or whatever. And so she's like, you do that, I'll do this. So then I was like, okay, I guess I kind of get it. It's not like, I love your kids.
Yeah.
So I'll keep your kids, which is what I got the first time I watched it. And I was like, this seems fucking weird. I don't think she has a nurturing bone in her body. She doesn't really seem like that. Yeah. But then the second time I was like, okay, this is like a mission in her head. You go do that. I will do this. And like, I'm not going to let anyone hurt the kids. I was like, okay, fine. I put Jane redemption story question mark because she saved Presley. She didn't have to. Did she think that she was doing, I don't know. I just don't know. Did she think that she was following Sinatra's orders to like go snag Presley or whatever she was supposed to be doing, and then had a change of heart, and she was like, you know what, this would be so crazy if I killed this little girl. Let me take her back home. Or is it like, you know what, this family's been nothing but good to me, how could I possibly hurt her? Let me take her back home. And so I was like, are they building a redemption story for Jane? I don't know. I feel like she needs to be in a psych ward.
Yeah, me too.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a redemption. I think she's gonna be still doing nefarious stuff next time. So we'll see. But maybe.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Psycho, so.
She seems very crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, why target Cal? We already talked about this. But again, he didn't build the fucking city. Yeah. Sinatra did. Yeah. And you were there when she told the guy, build me my city. Yeah. You saw the initial piece of that, which was her telling him to build the city. So why are you trying to kill Cal? Yeah. That is idiotic. Agreed. And that pisses me off. Yeah. Because he was a good guy. Yeah. It makes me so mad. And Sinatra's horrible. Yeah. Yeah. It makes me really mad. Like watching him get murdered, I was like, yeah. Are you freaking kidding me? That was this rough. Little douchey dude came out of freaking nowhere to be so stupid as to sit down and take a drink or whatever from his cup. You just killed the president. Why are you still there? You're like, woo, I need a drink. I just did something terrible. No, you dumb fuck. You need to get out. I was so mad. I was like, I said a couple episodes ago, or maybe last episode, I don't remember, like, I'm so glad that they didn't show what happened because I am not ready. I was still not ready. I was really mad. He's like this little, like, nerdy, like, whatever guy. Yeah. How are you committing murder? Right. He didn't seem insane. No. That's why it just doesn't even make sense. It does not make sense at all that he is the person. Yeah. Something that's not on here, that should have been on here, that was my last one. I'm going to add one more. Arrival day. When they couldn't get his band to scan, and they're like, just go. Yeah. I'm like, that is some fucking white privilege for your ass. Because if that was Xavier and his wife, they would have been like, okay, step to the side, let us investigate, let us figure it out, let me see your ID, let me like at the very least, let me like disconnect this old band and reconnect a new one or whatever they need to do. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. We have 25,000 people that can be here. Yeah. Not 25,001. So we need to account for every single person. Yeah. So no, your band is not working. Yeah. stop freaking out and tell me what happened.
Yeah.
I just know if that was a black couple, they would not have been ushered through. Like, go ahead. This is like too busy and too crazy. We don't have time to do it. They would have been like, step out of line. Yeah. And we'll look into it.
Yeah, they would have had like a separate section for people with band issues.
Exactly.
And then they need to get vetted one by one. Like, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm. That was it.
Okay. I mean, there was a lot. There was a freaking lot that didn't work. Well, what worked?
So what worked for me was Xavier going to find Terry. I feel like I agree with you on not smart to go by himself, but I do think like if it were, I mean, okay, not if it were me, because I'm not an explorer. Right. Okay, I can't fly a plane or do any of the things. Yeah. But like, if I could, and my husband was on the outside, alive, looking for me, I would want to go and find him. Yeah. Assuming that I have the resources to do such a thing, which I don't as a person. That's not me. So I appreciated that he was like, okay, you got the kids. I'm going to find my wife. I'm bringing her back here, presumably. And we're going to get to see a lot more of her next season. So I'm excited for that.
I was right about Cal leaving a message for Jeremy.
You were, yes.
Yeah, but it was so strange to me that nobody searched the guy's room in this whole time that he's been gone. Nobody looked through his stuff. That's just so weird. And, Jamar, when we watched the episode, we'll watch the show, and he saw that Cal was writing the stuff down. He's like, oh, that's a location in the library. I'm like, oh, okay.
What?
I'm like, how you know that? And I'm like, okay, because I thought it was one of the plane, like, numbers on the plane.
That's what I thought.
And stuff, but and so it turns out it was the library location. I was like, okay,
like the number on the cigarette? Yeah. That's what he said?
Yeah.
How did you know that,
and he said that like a few episodes ago. I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're gonna see. I'm like, how do you know that? Okay, but he guessed that it was.
I thought it was like a code to open something. Yeah. Like to get into a thing or a place or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but.
Good for you for being smart. Yeah. Good job. Let's see. Cal being smart enough to leave a freaking trail.
Oh, yeah.
Thank goodness. He knew that he was in trouble.
Yeah, not for the reasons he thought.
Right. Not for the reasons he thought at all. Yeah. But he knew something was going to happen to him. Yeah. And so he was smart enough to leave a freaking trail. Yeah. And even like writing the number on the cigarette. And then I think he did that like not in this episode, right? He was like sitting at the desk when he did that. But then like after he got hit in the head the first time, to see it play out and see that he had the wherewithal to like rub his fingers in his blood and mark an X on the cigarette package or whatever. I was like, smart. And initially I was like, okay, this is like so interesting. He's like marking it with an X, like X marks the spot. Like here's the thing. But I was like, today when I watched it, I was like, it's for Xavier.
Yeah. My next one is the new president getting some backbone, and the scene was very quick, but he like, all right, y'all, like, get it together. He essentially asked him, I don't know if he's gonna be the new Sinatra, but it looked like he took her chair, because usually she's at the front of the table, and he was sitting at the other side of the table and looking at the empty chair. Then he walked around, and then he came and sat there. So maybe he's gonna be the new Sinatra or something. God. I don't know, but it's so interesting because he, throughout the whole season, he's like an afterthought and stuff. Like even on the last day, like they're having a freaking meeting and he's running up the rear like, oh my gosh, like all disheveled and stuff. And Cal's like, yeah, we already know all that. Have a seat in the Valium. Like, it's like that going. Y'all treat him like dirt. So so we're gonna see what happens with him. But,
that's very interesting. I don't have anything else.
Oh, okay. Mine was Robinson with her taking charge. She's been redeemed in my eyes. I like her. But so it's like it worked, but it didn't work for the reasons you said. When she said, I would die before I let anything happen to these kids. Like, we ain't even seen you with the kids all season.
At all.
So what is this?
Do you know that?
Yeah, but then I also, on the other hand, do believe that she will take care of them. Like, she's about her business and stuff like that. So, yeah, that worked. And then Gabriella finally coming to the conclusion that maybe Sinatra is not a great person and just a mom taking care of people under her charge.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She annoyed the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I know. So, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say my rating.
Okay, go.
Okay. It was cool for what it was, but it wasn't all that.
That's right. Agreed.
It's a number 3.
A 3. That's
3
what I did too.
5. And I could have made it low and lower.
The first time I watched it, I was like, my rating is a 1. It's a 1 because Sterling K. Brown was on my TV.
Right.
That's it. That's it. And that's all. But watching it a second time, I'm like, okay, like I get some of the stuff that was annoying to me or whatever. Yeah. So I upgraded it to a 3.
Yeah. Dad,
I was so sad. I was like, this can't be it.
Yeah.
You guys needed to do 12 episodes then. Yeah. So that you can fully flush out this thing. Yeah. With this librarian, whatever the F his name is. Yeah. Because I feel like you could have had this episode minus like showing that he's the one that killed Cal. Yeah. Or maybe showing that he's the one that did it. But like Xavier not finding out yet. Yeah. You could have done that. And then we are like seeing him move through the next however many. Yeah. And then on the finale, Xavier finds out and whatever. Yeah. But it felt rushed.
Absolutely.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's no way that they're just letting people willy-nilly through this place. Like, obviously you're supposed to, if you're here, you're supposed to be here. Yeah. But like, there's no way that they're just like, okay, like, go ahead through, buddy, whoever you are. You haven't shown me an ID. I don't know what your name is, whatever, whatever. That's not a thing. Yeah. It just did not make sense.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. And like, especially, like, why would it just be a wristband that people need? Right. Fingerprints. Fingerprints on her phone. Like, are you kidding? Yeah. Just a band. Anybody can find a band. Truth. Like,
that's a really good point.
They could have done something a lot different. It just really sucked.
It was not
especially
good.
Like, you have these 2 amazing episodes. 6 and 7 were so great,
so good,
and then this one was just a letdown.
It really was.
Oh my gosh.
It was a big letdown. I was very confused.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it was a 3, and that's being generous. Okay.
Agreed.
So the best episodes of the series were 6 and 7.
Yes.
And we're gonna see what happens next time or next season.
I am interested to see. I cannot wait for next season. But like, what is this dynamic gonna be? Is he gonna tell her that he had sex with Gabriella?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
maybe.
Would you tell? If I think that you're dead?
Yeah, I mean,
think that you're dead.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Not even like you passed away. Like, you are obliterated.
Right. Yeah.
You do not exist.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if they ask.
But you do.
Maybe if they, I don't know. So here's the thing. I think men are a lot different from women. So I feel like women are more understanding and men have this ego. At least in my experience. So they probably wouldn't want to hear it. So unless they ask, I probably wouldn't say it. Yeah. Because they probably have some type of like, some type of strange response. Versus a woman, I feel like women are a little bit more understanding and stuff.
I feel like if Alex told me that, I would be like, why'd you tell me that? Yeah. Don't tell me. Yeah. Don't tell me. If you think that I have died and you do something that if I were here you would not do. Right. But miraculously, I am now here. Yeah. Don't fucking tell me.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. I feel like he's gonna tell her.
Yeah.
Because he's
like,
gonna feel
honest.
guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my thing is, also, don't have me looking stupid though, because that's the thing. You gonna bring me back to this city, and you and this girl got a little thing going on.
Oh,
yes.
my God.
See, nah, then I'm over here thinking everything all honky dory, and y'all got this secret. No.
Yeah, that don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, maybe it's.
Yeah, I think you better tell me.
Say something.
Yeah, because ain't no way. I don't.
Ooh, yeah, that would be awful.
Yeah.
And we already know Terry is about that life.
Yeah.
So we really don't want her making a scene in that way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then you don't know if the other person's gonna say something like, "Oh yeah, I don't want it to be any weird thing. It was just one night." You know.
Yes.
Oh my God. Just one night. It meant nothing. He thought you were gone. He didn't want to. And then she over here like, what?
It's sorry. It is the fact that we have made up this whole thing. Of like what's gonna happen next season. I think I read in like an interview or saw a clip or something, and the writer was like, yeah, the season 2 is gonna go in a much different direction than people think that it's gonna go. I hope they're not gonna do like a Walking Dead
That's
kind
what
of thing.
I thought it was gonna
I don't
go.
want to see that at all.
Yeah.
Don't freaking do it.
I know.
Find Terry, bring her back.
Yeah.
And then let's figure out what the heck we're doing and get Sinatra out there. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm just like, drama.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be the drama. And I'm very interested.
Yeah.
Very interested.
So the ideal thing is to say it before she gets to paradise.
Yes.
So that she can have it in her mind and then not have this type of interaction.
Or at least be prepared if
stupid
Gabriella decides to say something.
Yeah.
Or Sinatra, because Sinatra
Oh,
knows too.
yeah. So
assuming she survives.
Right. Oh my gosh. So all right. Well,
that's it.
That's it for our review of Paradise. Definitely check out our Paradise playlist with all of our episodes. And check out our cross playlist as well if you want to look at a different show. So, all right. Well, we'll see you guys next season, of course. Yeah. And then, definitely subscribe if you want to see more reviews.
That's right. We'll be back doing something. Reviewing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. See ya.
Bye.